The following is an exclusive presentation of Jesup Broadcasting, the sports leader in Southeast Georgia.
World famous. The world famous Butch and Bob Show.
I was busy talking away there. I didn't have my mic on, and Bob's over there just grinning. Well, good morning. You're listening to the Big Dog, WIFO FM in Jesup, 105.5. When FM dial, Butch Hubbard here with you, along Bob Morgan. It is a Monday morning, the 22nd day of April. World famous Butch and Bob Show brought to you by Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear, by Murphy Builder Supply on Northeast Broad Street, and by the Women's Health Center in downtown Jesup on Chariot Broad. And Bob, how are you doing?
I'm good.
You have a good Easter weekend?
I did.
You did? You came out for the 49th annual Big Dog Country and Easter egg hunt in conjunction with Unity Church of God, didn't you?
Yep, I was there for about 30 minutes. Then I had to go to the alumni game and check that out. So I had a busy Saturday.
Well, the Easter egg hunt fun day went real well. It was our 49th WLOP and WYFO Easter egg hunt, and we started doing it with Unity Church of God. Kind of got together and made it bigger and better, and about 10, 12 years ago. And so we had a great time out there. Lots of kids out there from the ages 0 to 12 having just a great time. Getting those plastic eggs filled with candy and certificates for grand prizes and money. Had a big obstacle blow-up course and hamster balls and entertainment and chicken chasing. And I tell you, it's hard to catch one of them chickens, even in a round cage.
I saw the chickens in the cage when I was there. I was like, I don't think I want to chase those chickens.
Yeah, and it's amazing. They put 5 kids in there at a time, and they couldn't catch them. It was funny as I don't know why, watching those kids do that. But we'd like to thank all the sponsors of the Easter egg hunt and fun day. Without them, it would not be possible. And we do hope everyone had a good time that went out there. And next year, Bob, will be our 50th. And Pastor Calvin Anderson at Unity Church of God and me and his son Hayden, my son Matt, are already starting to work on next year's to make it bigger and better for our golden anniversary of the Easter egg hunt and fun day here in Jesup, Wayne County, the community-wide Easter egg hunt and fun day. And everybody out there had a great time. We had lots and lots of kids out there, and they were having a good time. And we appreciate Unity Church of God hosting it and putting it on. Pastor Calvin Anderson and his staff just do an outstanding job of hosting and organizing it and putting it together out there.
You would just have to had a golden egg with the big prize in it.
Yeah, we're going to have to do a golden egg. A golden egg in each age group. Yeah, we have 4 different age groups. I guess we'll put a golden egg in each one. But we had a great time out there. There was I didn't realize this until, I had my son Matt and his wife Mandy were out there with my 4 grandsons. I don't call them their kids. I call them my grandsons. We're out there and had a great time. And the thing about it is, with the 4 grandsons, I had 1 in each age group. And 1 in each of the 4 age groups, and had a good time watching them. But they were going to an Easter egg hunt that night at the Pine Forest Country Club, a glow-in-the-dark Easter egg hunt, and they do it off the practice range there. And so it's at night, and they got the, I guess, glowing eggs and stuff. I didn't go out there. Have you ever seen that out there, Bob?
I didn't make it out there Saturday.
I didn't know if you had ever seen, but it's a glow-in-the-dark Easter egg hunt out there at the country club. And I know my grandsons probably had a great time out there. But you left the Easter egg hunt and fun day, and then you went to the alumni game. And tell me about that.
It's a great crowd out there. A lot of fun. A lot of good competition. I think the final was 5-2. The mayor's team won. Mayor David Earl Keith had an RBI suicide bunt or safety bunt.
Safety, okay.
So he drove in a run, but just good to see all the former players, like I said. Raphael Shaw's back in town, Shamari Curry. I can't name them all, but there was a lot of, just a lot of old-timers there having a good time. So John and Jimmy Warren came back, so it's good to see them. Bert was there, but he didn't play. A lot of guys just showed up, but they didn't want to play.
Right.
But it was good too. Shane Jones looked, he was putting on a show.
He was?
Shane Jones, he looked like back in high school, there's a ball down the right field line. He's playing second base. He made it look routine. So
wow,
it was just fun to watch him play.
That was a good idea.
Good idea. pitching was pretty serious. Sid Royal, Barrett Brown, and Stephen Hayes, they're up there striking people out.
Well, they grew up as competitors. That's how they got as good as they are. Is they love to win. They've got to win. So they still have that got to win competitive attitude.
Jay Brents was there, superintendent, former baseball player.
Now, did he play?
He played.
He did play.
Yeah. He played second base. So.
Okay.
It was good to see everybody there. Like I said, Barrett Brown was there. Tom Jern was there. I'm trying to think who else was there. Andy Lamb was there. So just a lot of players. Alan Hickox was there. So just had a good turnout. Had a lot of people playing, so it was fun to watch.
Good.
I enjoyed it.
Well, they had a former Jesup broadcasting employee come bebopping in here on Friday, Kevin Kelshaw.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Kevin, who worked for my dad back in the late 70s, and also when I worked here, he was the afternoon shift guy on WLOP at that time, 1370 AM from 2 to 6. He was also the news and sports director back then in the late 70s, and then when the group bought Aiken, Aiken, South Carolina. He came up there briefly and worked for me, but then turned around, came right back down to Jesup. Now, did he work here when you were here?
Yeah, we did a lot of games together.
Yeah.
And he's in law enforcement now, isn't he?
Yeah, he stayed here during the 80s, and then in 89, I think he said, 88, 89, he moved down to St. Augustine, Florida, and he's been in law enforcement down there for the last 30 years. And next year he'll retire. Well, 31 years in, he'll be able to retire. He was in town for a funeral. He comes back in town ever so often. He used to coach the Little League teams, and one of the kids that he coached in Little League team apparently had died. I don't know which one it was, and he came for that funeral. And I said, well, you ought to hang around for the next day, the next day for Saturday for the alumni game. He says, no, I got to get funeral, then I got to get back down to St. Augustine. But he would have loved to stayed over and see, because a lot of those guys out there he would have known.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. But, it was interesting to look up there and see him, recognize him right off the bat, and I hadn't seen him since the early 70s, and both of him and I put on probably about 40 pounds since then. But we still just reminisced about some old times, and it was good to see Kevin. Been a long time. Had a good time talking with him. And let's see here. Oh, y'all know that you briefly mentioned it with Jonathan. You had it in your news. That was some interesting weather that we had on Friday. Just briefly came through and then did its damage and then moved on out.
Did quite a bit of damage, from what I understand. A lot of trees down, a lot of windows shattered. So I think former City Commissioner Ray House had a tree come down on both his house and his vehicle. So certain people got hit hard, but most people escaped without injury, so that was good. But I think they did a good job of shutting down the schools. I thought, it was bad weather for sure.
Yeah, it was.
Luckily, it was quick, though. That was a good thing.
It was quick. Boom, a few minutes
came through and it was gone. But, but looking at the other coverage on, some of the major networks, some of the other states got hit pretty hard, several deaths. So, tornadoes in Mississippi. So, a lot of, it came through the Southeast. Pretty much every state, had an effect. So, but hats off to the power companies getting out, restoring power as quickly as possible. Hats off to the road department getting out and clearing those trees on the roads. I think Doctortown Road got hit pretty hard with a lot of roads, a lot of trees down. So certain areas got hit pretty bad.
That's one thing about tornadoes, or their small wind shears like that, is it's hit and miss. It's not like a hurricane that comes through and it's pretty widespread. With that kind of weather, you could get hit here, and then 2 blocks over, you might not get anything.
Like John said, like he was at the hospital. I was downtown eating as well. Saw it come through up some nasty skies, but heavy rain, wind. But like I said, came through in about 5-10 minutes, and then it was gone. So
it was interesting here at the radio station that afternoon when it came through, there was all the lightning and so forth. Leanne, our office manager, and Dolores, who's in sales, were standing out back kind of watching it, and they saw lightning hit the guide wires. Now, I've seen that many times before, and you can hear them sing during the lightning storms and stuff like that, but Leanne said she saw a lightning hit one of the guide wires. It went around in a circle, half circle, and then shot out through the air like it was shooting back away from the radio station, just through the air. She said, like I said, I've never seen that either, where just a lightning bolt just flies off of something and just shoots right through the air. Scared them half to death, she said. Yeah, it's interesting to stand out there and watch during the lightning storm what it'll do to those guide wires out there. And they'll sing, they'll dance, they'll light up, and they'll do all kinds of stuff. But I've never seen a lightning bolt just shoot straight out from it, out through midair, and then just dissipate. But luckily, as far as we know, no any major injuries of any type. Everybody got through it okay, just some damaged property, which, of course, can be fixed up and replaced.
So my newscast insurance companies are the busy ones today and Friday. They're getting calls constantly.
Yeah. Even at the Easter egg hunt, when I was putting up signs around, I saw a lot of power trucks come down Henson Mosley Road there, heading out, I guess heading here, there, and yonder to get power back on here, there, and here. But not too bad, not too bad. We've seen a lot worse, especially with the hurricanes coming through, but and some other tornadoes that have hit Scriven in the past. But, the places that did get hit, they got hit pretty good. Pretty good. Now, they had the Georgia G-Day game this past Saturday, and Coach Rick was worried about, was anybody going to show up because of all the bad weather?
Coach Rick, and Coach Smart.
Did I say, what did I say?
You said Coach Rick.
Oh, did I say Rick? Kirby Smart.
Rick's retired.
I know. That's just one of those brain things. Coach Kirby Smart was all worried about it, but they said 50-something thousand people showed up, even though you did have such rough weather come through Georgia.
I got to see most of it. I said Step Bennett played well, backup quarterback for Georgia, but the other backup quarterback played pretty well. Fromm didn't play very well. I said first pass was a pick six, but they're not worried about Jake Fromm. They'll be fine. So a lot of talent up there. It was interesting. The officials had celebrity officials. A lot of the ESPN analysts were doing the officiating, so they weren't.
Oh, they
there.
were?
Yeah. Todd Blackridge and Sean McDonough, and they had nothing but celebrity officiating for the game. So, but it was interesting, competitive game. But they had Bennett playing quarterback for both teams, both the red and black at one point. So,
they did?
Yeah,
Bennett from
Pierce County.
Pierce County with Wayne County ties.
Yeah, he can fling it pretty good. So he had a good day. I think he threw over 200 yards and touchdown. Can't remember his exact stats, but they had a good day. They were bragging about him. So.
Good. Well, maybe she'll see some playing time this 2019 season.
They should.
I hope so. It's good to have folks from the Southeast Georgia down here, especially ones with right next to us and with Wayne County ties, do well up in college. And so it looks like most all the spring games for colleges have wound down, and they'll get ready for graduation in a few weeks, and then they'll be hitting the gym and the track and everything else this summer, getting in shape for the 2019 season. That'll usually, for most teams, it kicks off Labor Day weekend. You usually have a game or two right before that.
Everybody's picking Georgia to win the East, but they got a tough schedule, a lot of tough games on the schedule. So, Florida, South Carolina, Tennessee will all have something to say about that. So we'll see how it all plays out. But Georgia feels good. The offensive line's probably the biggest offensive line they ever had at University of Georgia. So they should be able to protect Fromm, and the receivers catch the ball, which they should. Running backs play well. DeAndre Swift's back, so a lot of talent in Athens. Stockpiling that talent.
Yeah, kind of do what Alabama does, You don't reload, you don't rebuild, you reload.
All right. So, but tough schedule. Got Texas A&M on schedule, Notre Dame. Still got to play Florida, Auburn, Tech. So it'll be interesting how it all plays out. But a lot of excitement.
Did we play Notre Dame this year?
Yep, in Athens.
They come to Athens. Now, is that like a must game for you?
September 21st. Yeah, looking for tickets because the tickets right now are
hard to find.
Very, very expensive. Not hard to find. Just people want an arm and a leg for them. I'm not paying that kind of money for tickets. So, but I got some feelers out. I got to get to that game, September 21st, in Athens, Georgia, Notre Dame. Got it marked on my calendar.
Got it on your calendar, huh? Good. Ought to be very a good game there at Sanford Stadium.
No. should be fun. See Notre Dame come into Athens. I said most people still talk about, a lot of people made the trip to Notre Dame, had a great time.
Yeah, a lot of Georgia fans went up there to see the Golden Dome and all that kind of stuff. Is it golden? They have a Golden Dome there?
Golden Dome.
Golden Dome there at South Bend, Indiana?
The helmets are sprayed gold.
Okay.
Speaking of gold, did you see Shaq's outfit last night?
No, I did not see Shaq's outfit last night. What was Shaq at?
He had a gold suit on.
Where?
He does the TNT halftime.
Oh, okay. So he was doing
him and Ernie and Charles Barkley, and
he had a gold suit on.
And it was hysterical. People were texting and stuff, and it was an impressive suit. I think only somebody like Shaquille O'Neal could get away with it. Oh, yeah,
Shaq can get away with it. He can just put that big old goofy grin on there and smile and laugh. He's just... Shaq, I don't, you see a personality on TV and you hear it on radio and all that kind of stuff. You don't know if it's the real person or not, because of, they could be putting on an act. But Shaq just looks like a type of guy that'd be good to hang out with. He looks like he likes to have fun.
That suit was great.
There were some golden suits back in the 70s, gold and green and brown and all that kind. You can look at furniture from the 70s, from furniture, and it from the 70s, okay? Shag carpet. When I was at Callaway Garden Apartments in Athens, my junior year, me and Bill, my roommate Bill, we had red shag carpet. And you had to have a very strong vacuum cleaner back then to be able to vacuum that shag carpet. You ever live anywhere with shag carpet, Bob? The big old long stuff there.
I don't believe so.
Never had shag carpet, huh?
I don't think so.
Yeah, well, we had shag carpet there at Callaway Garden Apartments at my junior year at University of Georgia. And so that was a 70s thing. So Shaq would have fit in back, with that gold suit in the 70s, especially up to early to mid 70s.
An impressive suit last night.
But can you only wear that thing one time? You wear it again, it's like, a novelty type of outfit like that is something you can't wear very often because the novelty of it wears off. Do you just wear it once, or when would be the next time that Shaq would wear that gold suit?
Who knows? But it was funny last night. It was topic of conversation. The other three hosts were having a fun time.
Oh, I'll have to go to YouTube today and type that in and take a look at his gold suit.
Can't wait for the NFL drafts coming up.
Yeah, that's this week, isn't it?
Thursday,
NFL draft.
Yeah.
Who do you think's going to go number one?
I don't think it's Kyler Murray. They keep saying it's him, but I don't.
The quarterback from Oklahoma?
Yeah. They keep saying Arizona's taking him. I don't believe they are. They got Rosen unless they trade him. So I think it's just a smokescreen. I think they're trying to get somebody to trade up and take that. Somebody may trade up and take him, but number one. But I don't think Arizona's picking him number one. Everybody says they are, but I'll still stick to my guns, and I think it's a smokescreen. I think they're trying to either trade the pick or they're going to pick somebody else. I'd be shocked if they take Kyler Murray.
Well, if you've got two decent quarterbacks, good quarterbacks, you really don't need to pick up another. You need to fill a position that you need somebody for, whether it's a linebacker or whether it's a offensive lineman or whatever the case may be.
The only thing is the coaches said that that's what he wants. So,
you make some trades.
That's back when he was in college, but it'll be interesting. Jacksonville picks 7th. It's a deep draft. There's a lot of talent in that draft. So even 14, the Falcons going to get a good player in that first round. So the first rounds, there's just talent everywhere. A lot of receivers going to be taken in the second, third round. But it's a deep defensive draft. So a lot of teams will be able to get some defensive help. So
who from Georgia do you think will be picked in the top, let's say, 3 or 4 rounds?
The number one guys coming off the board is DeAndre Baker, defensive back, cornerback. So I'd like to see the Steelers take him at number 20. But I got my fingers crossed. They need defensive help.
They need help?
Yeah, he'd look good in black and gold. So watching the mock draft, they got the I can't think who's picking before the Steelers. They get them taking them. So I can't remember. The Pittsburgh picks 20th, Jacksonville picks 7th, Falcons pick 14th. So,
okay,
but I'm hoping that DeAndre Baker's who the Steelers taking round 1.
Okay. Who's going to be the quarterback for Jacksonville this upcoming year?
Nick Foles. Remember, they made the big trade.
I know, so he's going to do it, huh?
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
That's the reason why did
penciled
Bortles
in.
go anywhere?
Bortles did go somewhere. Where did he wind up? I'm trying to think where he wound up. He landed somewhere.
Now, tell us the history of Nick Foles.
I know where he went. He went to the Los Angeles Rams.
To the Rams.
As a backup quarterback. That's where he's at.
Now, tell us the history of Nick Foles, his professional.
He's a Super Bowl MVP. You know, he's the guy that filled in for Philadelphia when their quarterback got hurt, led him to the Super Bowl, and last year almost took him back to the Super Bowl when
So he left the Eagles to go to the Jaguars.
Right. Yeah,
okay.
For all that money. They're paying him big time money. So I think it's going to be an exciting year. I'd be curious to see who I would pick. I saw where Coughlin's made some players mad. It's supposedly his voluntary workouts, but Jalen Ramsey and Tevlin Smith aren't at the voluntary workouts, and Coughlin made some comments saying they should be there, and they said that that's why it's called voluntary. They don't have to be there. So.
Well, it's voluntary, but
Coughlin's old school. He just wants everybody to fall in line. So.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like Vince Lombardi. If you read the book Instant Replay with Jerry Kramer, you know if a meeting started at 8 a.m., that you better be in your seat at 7:45. Okay, 8 a.m. meant 7:45, and you always had to be there about at least 15 minutes early. And if you come walking in at 8, and the coach says, "Where you been?" And he said, "Well, you said 8 o'clock," and so. Tom Coughlin, he's old school.
Jaguars need a tight end. I think they're going to target a tight end in round 1. That's the word. So
that's the word.
We'll wait and see if they pick a tight end. There's a couple of good ones on that board. So I said it's a deep, talented draft. So it should be fun to watch. But it's be interesting which teams trade up. Quarterback situation. You got Dwayne Haskins coming out of Ohio State. You got Locke coming out of Missouri. Several quarterbacks are expected going around 1, so it's just which team wants which quarterback. So we'll see who wants Kyler Murray. But everybody you listen to say he's going number 1 to Arizona, but for some reason I think it's a smokescreen. I think Arizona's got their guy in Rosen. So unless they trade Josh Rosen, I don't think they're taking Kyler Murray. But we'll wait and see. Time will tell. That's what Thursday night's for. All the anticipation.
I know. You never can tell what's going to happen. What was that movie with Kevin Costner? What it was about?
NFL draft. Yeah.
The NFL draft.
Yeah, draft day.
Draft day.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
Yeah. Was that? You've probably kept up with the NFL draft through the years and talked to coaches. Is that pretty well kind of how it goes?
Yeah. There's a lot of behind the scenes, a lot of wheeling and dealing, a lot of they do all these pre-interviews. So certain teams fall in love with certain players, so see how it all plays out.
If you really, I know that Dan Patrick and Jim Rome and Rich Eisen will be all talking about it. Of course, we got on our AM, of course, this is all on our sister station, Wayne County's Heritage Radio Station, Fox Sports Radio, 1370 AM The Buzz, WLOP. Chuck Oliver's on each weekday afternoon from 5 to 7 p.m., and he talks college football, all year long. That's all the show's about. Even this time of year when there's nothing going on from that standpoint, he talks college football and interviews different, especially he's based out of Atlanta, so most of it's southern oriented. And it'll be interesting listening to him this week to find out as he talks to his sources throughout the SEC and other ACC and around on who those folks think are going to be picked from the top in the draft.
The Raiders got 3 picks in round 1, so they said last night they pretty much can dictate the draft. So who they trade, whether or not they trade at all, but they've got 3 picks in the first round. So
where are the Raiders playing? I know next year they'll be in their new stadium in Las Vegas.
They're going to Las Vegas. Yeah.
And they're going to Las Vegas, but the stadium's not ready yet. So where are they?
I think they're staying in Oakland.
So they can still play that one more year in the old.
I think that's what
Oakland Stadium.
That's what they agreed to. I think they're staying one more year in Oakland.
Okay. Well, I'd heard at one time that perhaps maybe they had to use another stadium, still be the Oakland Raiders, but had to use another stadium or something. But apparently not. But next year, 2020, they will be the Las Vegas Raiders.
Las Vegas Raiders.
Yes, sir. Yeah. That'll be interesting how they do there in Las Vegas.
Yeah, this draft will determine that.
That'll determine that, right? They'll have and of course they'll have a Super Bowl there the next few years because every time you build a new stadium, you get a Super Bowl.
Be interesting to see if the big story in Oakland is John Gruden going to stick with Chris Carr. And they keep saying Gruden wants Kyler Murray. So the Raiders, with their 3 picks, they may make a move and get up to that number 1 pick and take Kyler Murray.
But they got 3 number 1 picks?
3 number 1 picks.
Boy, they did some trading to get that, didn't they?
Yeah. They traded Amari Cooper to Dallas. They traded, who else they traded? Khalil Mack. They traded him to Chicago. So those trades that everybody criticized last year, what are they doing?
Right.
That's what they're doing. They're stockpiling picks. So it would be interesting how John Gruden does with those 3 picks.
Build it for the future. Yeah.
You got Mike Mayock, the GM, used to be on ESPN doing draft analyst. So a lot of people think he knows a lot about football. So should be interesting who all they pick.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it. Should be fun. Thursday night in Nashville.
Nashville?
First time.
Why Nashville?
I'm not sure. They're just trying to move it around. But
Yeah. Well, that's good to have it in Nashville. It'll be a music city there.
They get all those country artists to come on as guests. I know
That's right.
Tim McGraw is going to be a guest on one of the networks. So
Tim McGraw. They said that he's got a heck of a workout program every day.
He's been in a couple of sports movies. Like I said, had a great role in Friday Night Lights. That movie.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a great talent, country talent, but beautiful wife, Faith Hill.
He was in Blindside.
Blindside?
Yeah. I mean, he was.
Did he play in Blindside?
Yeah.
It's what?
He was Sandra Bullock's wife. Yeah, they were the mother.
Sandra Bullock's what?
Wife. I mean, husband. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They were the mother and father of the kid.
Okay. Yeah, so Tim McGraw was the husband.
Yeah, he was.
I didn't realize. I thought see the movie again to see if I can't remember that. Yeah.
Remember Nick Saban walks in there and she has, she said he's pretty good looking. He says, "Hey, I'm here." All right.
Sandra Bullock did a great job in that movie on Blindside, but I understand, just you've seen interviews with the real person, who lived that, and Sandra Bullock apparently got her personality down just like the woman is. Yeah,
she wanted to be the coach. She's had that.
Yeah.
Telling the coach where he needs to be.
To me, one of the funniest scenes out there, he's the big lumbering lineman and so forth like that, and he's not doing his job very well because he don't want to hurt anybody and something like that. So Sandra Bullock, the character, comes off from the sidelines from watching practice and goes out there and talks to her stepson and basically says, basically pretend that's me back there protecting. And next thing you know, nobody ever got at the quarterback then.
Good movie.
Or the time that he blocked that guy all the way down the field out of the end zone. There's some good scenes from that Blindside movie. And it's a true story, too. True story. The guy had a great professional career.
Still playing.
Is he still playing? I figure by now that he'd be aged out.
No, he's still playing.
Still playing, huh? But that's a good movie, Blindside. Have you gone to any recent movies lately? We hadn't talked about that, have we? I haven't been to a movie in a while.
I'm trying to think the last time I saw Dumbo. That came through. That was
you saw
good.
Dumbo?
Yeah, I like Disney movies. I saw Dumbo.
You're a Disney movie, huh?
There's another movie I saw, but I can't remember what it was. Must not have been that good.
Must not have been that good.
It's been a while.
Do you go see like the Captain Marvel movies or you like those?
Yeah, I saw the last one that was in. I'm trying to think of the name of it.
Okay.
But it's been a while since
the superhero movies.
Haven't seen a good movie lately. Like I said, I'm trying to think that I saw another one. Like I said, there's 2 movies down there. Dumbo was playing something else, and I can't remember what it was. I saw. Must not have been that good.
Well, I've been ODing lately on NCIS. I went off and finally got me a smart television, and through my tablet, I've got Netflix, and so you can watch a bunch of movies. Plus, they have a lot of those old TV shows.
They got all kinds of series on there.
So I started with season 1, which one of my favorite episodes of NCIS is the very first one, where Gibbs in Air Force One and the possible assassination of President Bush and all that kind of stuff. And that's was a great way for them to start off. And you get the attitude of Gibbs and his personality from that scene where he's basically doing a shootout on Air Force One with a guy with an automatic weapon, and Gibbs is there sitting there with that pistol, and it's like they're having a shootout down Air Force One there. But I love NCIS, so I'm watching. I'm up to season 7 now, I believe, and watching all the old shows, because there's several years there I didn't even have a TV for a long time, except I had a television, but it was just to have the DVD player. So I've been ODing lately on NCIS, watching some of these old NCIS, and they're great. I love NCIS. I mean, but I haven't watched it since most of the folks have been gone now. I think the last year that I watched it was the year that for a few seasons after Ziva left, and I hadn't seen it since Tony left. So I don't even know what it looks like today, other than Gibbs. I guess McGee's still there. I don't know. But anything happening this week in Wayne County that you're keeping your eye on?
Well, I said all three sports teams are in state playoff action this week. Again, I wish the tennis teams the best of luck today up in Bainbridge at 2:00. They're taking on the number 1 seed up there. They've made it to the second round already, so we wish them the best of luck today in second round action up against Bainbridge. And again, tennis team, that's the tennis team. Soccer team, boys soccer team hosts Whitewater here at 5:00 Wednesday. Boys baseball team hosts Fayette County here Wednesday at 4:30 doubleheader, and the girls soccer team's up in McIntosh on Wednesday. I'm not sure what time that match is, but they're on the road on Wednesday. So state playoff action's underway as this school year winds down. So a lot going on, but state playoff action has arrived all this week.
Okay, well, a lot of sports playing there. I know that Jonathan gave away 2 sets of 4 single-day passes to go see Foreigner live in concert this coming Saturday at Wild Adventures, and I'm going to do the same thing in just a few minutes. Foreigner, Bob, has been around for a long time. A lot of big hits, hard rock and roll band there, just, headbanging music.
Love Foreigner.
Love Foreigner. Someone just text in, everyone needs to go see Unbreakable. So somebody likes the movie Unbreakable. Well, Bob, have a good day. All right, the world-famous Butch and Bob Show brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply in downtown Jesup on North East Broad Street, by the Women's Health Center, also downtown at the intersection of Cherry and Broad Street, and by Mike Birchford in Blackshear.
The world-famous Butch and Bob Show.